Storybooks are there to teach your kids to be good. Jonathan Livingston Seagull or Little Riding Hood. But comic books are cooler. Zombie horror, traveling blue boxes, Spike and Buffy Angel if we absolutely must.
Ew.
The name's Samantha maybe. I'm a Loki-loving Whedon lady.
Don't you call me Sammy or I'll punch you in the face.
Really.
Comic fans.
Happy Halloween, and welcome to the next Buffy comic book review. As you can tell, I'm quite a fan of Halloween, even though it's a historically bad holiday for Buffy. When we last left our Slayers, we discovered that Amy was still alive and somehow survived the explosion of Sunnydale. She was being held in a military facility of some kind, and well, let's find out what's actually going on. We open on a cup of tea, which I guess is the most telling image of Giles they could come up with. Giles tells us about the Slayer training programs that have been going on, but he seems extremely lacking in the hopefulness. Then we go back to Buffy and her Slayers in training, who she is evidently training in the ways of Buffyisms. They spar, and Buffy barely breaks a sweat besting 3 of them. A scene at yet another training camp follows, and we finally see Andrew, with his own group of trainees. While trying to explain that Slayers don't need to carry guns, he bores all the girls to tears with an embarrassing story about his childhood that begins with a commentary on Lando Calrissian's fashion sense. Oh look, there's Dawn. Meh. Back at the military base, General Vall is discussing a plan involving Amy and taking out a target. Though they don't specify anything, it's safe to assume they're talking about Buffy. We also discover that Vall has a familiar scar on his chest. We cut to Buffy and Xander having a discussion about Dawn, and things start to get weird. After Xander's head pops off, and he continues speaking, you figure someone's having a strange dream. Buffy gets grabbed by a big demon, and we then see that the words Buffy is hearing are coming from Amy. Xander and the Slayerettes hear the racket and burst into the room. Though Buffy is protected by some enchantments, Amy puts a spell on her that will keep her knocked out until she gets a kiss from someone who truly loves her. I've been dreaming of a true love's kiss. No, folks, I could not make this up. One of the agents, who apparently has a crush on Xander, then discovers a horde of zombies climbing up the side of their fortress, because apparently no one had looked at the ground in at least an hour. Amy is still in Buffy's bedroom with her. They haven't tried to restrain her any further, and she tries to get Xander to kiss Buffy, though it doesn't appear that he does. Back in Buffy's dream world, a man whose head is obscured says he has a lot to show Buffy and calls her my love. Now, of course, I'm hoping this is Spike, but Spike and Angel have both been known to wear long black coats, so jury's out. Amy tells Xander he won't be able to stop the horde attacking the young Slayers, and Willow finally shows, looking like Elphaba. And flying. Though she looks awesome on the next art page, why isn't she dressed like that in the actual comic? Anyway, part 3 opens with Buffy dwelling on who the mysterious man in her dream could possibly be. It turns out to be Ethan Rayne? Yeah, Ripper's old pal. He tells Buffy they're in her dream space, the area in her subconscious where all of her dreams are stored. What does Buffy dream about, you ask? After pulling the audience's attention back to her predicament, Buffy begins to worry about the outside world, where we see Amy and Willow going toe to magic toe. Willow says some gobbledygook about being able to decode Amy's magic mojo, and has a Superman moment, which apparently turns all the zombies into tango dancers. As Willow turns her attention back to Amy, Amy shoots her with 8-bit pixel magic? She fights back after going dark, and in the meantime Buffy's still traveling in Dreamland, and Xander sends his pet giant to take care of the rat problem. Things get weirder and weirder in Dreamland, and Ethan says, "Twilight is falling. You're going to need all the help you can get, pet." In the real world again, Buffy's still unconscious, so Willow tells all the girls that one of them must love her, so everyone's going to shut their eyes and wait for someone to go kiss her. Okay, can we talk about the logistics of this scene for a moment? Now, there are a lot of girls in that room, and Xander. Everyone in that room wants Buffy to be okay, and naturally the audience probably assumes that it's Xander that tries to kiss her. But are you seriously telling me that there was no awkward, oh, you think you're in love with Buffy too moment between two or more people? And, I mean, if Willow was gonna do it, she probably wouldn't have made a big speech. You're telling me there was only one person? Just one person? Out of that entire room full of girls? No. This scene is just awkward.
Buffy wakes up, screams cinnamon buns, and is thrilled to see Willow. Back to Giles, who's speaking with our old pal Slimer. He even cleans his glasses in comic form. He's getting some info from the demon. Xander and Andrew talk about a possible connection between the stiff they found in issue number 1 and Amy's subsequent attack. Poor Andrew is bored with all the Slayers, who are apparently playing strip poker. That one chick who has a crush on Xander, her name's Renee, got injured during the attack on the fortress, and Xander decides the best cure is flirting. Buffy and Willow are tending to Amy, trying to figure out where the heck she came from, and Buffy addresses the elephant in the room. Willow doesn't want to talk about where she's been, but we learn that she and Kennedy are still together, even though Kennedy apparently died for a month. Xander pops in, and there's another reference to the fact that no one's gotten any in the past year. Willow's attention turns back to Amy, and then she misquotes Admiral Akbar. Buffy tries to follow her into the portal, but fails. Willow is now strapped down to a table in the military base, and we meet Amy's boyfriend, Warren.
Alright, so that's nasty. After reading this, I was certainly confused about how Warren and Amy were still alive. I mean, the biological impossibilities aside for Warren, how did they survive that explosion? I mean, what? Did they make a deal with Wolfram and Hart? Did I just make an Angel reference? I guess it's just a mystery for a future issue. I think the most important developments are that Willow came back and activated Amy's trap card, and that Giles is being all sketchy and making deals with demons, but hey, this isn't supernatural. Demons aren't always bad in the Buffyverse. Willow seems to have more control over her powers. She did go dark side for a second there, but she seemed to be able to snap out of it pretty quick. I am worried she's gonna fall back into a dark place, but I have hope. I do want to know what's up with her clothes, though. Thanks to Buffy's dream walking, we now know that some Twilight thing is coming, and we also know that General Vol is somehow tied into the corpse they found in issue number 1, which probably means that the military is making deals with supernatural forces. Surprise, surprise. One of the major things you begin to pick up on is a sense of emotional repression from all of the main characters. It's like they're all just going to break down sometime soon, and until then they're just going about their business. I mean, as much as they were responsible for before the Sunnydale explosion, now they're responsible for even more. I, for one, hope that the comic takes a more serious turn and gets away from all of these magical, kind of gimmicky tricks. It's a love spell. I'm flying. 8-bit pixel magic. But overall, I think the story seems interesting so far, and we just have to keep reading. I'm Samantha Maybe, and I'll see you next Monday, on a day that should certainly be remembered.